what was your tech stack like, which is relevant to this role? At PwC, the platform was AEM 6.5 and AEM as a cloud service. That was the core. On the backend, Java 11 and 17 with Apache Sling, OSGI through Felix, and Sling models for component logic. We exposed content headlessly through AEM's GraphQL with persistent queries and traditional REST APIs through Sling model exporters. Apache HTTP server with the dispatcher module sat in front of the publish, and inside the JVM I used Caffeine for application level caching of hot lookups. On the front end, traditional pages used HTL, which is HTML template language with Adobe Core Components extended through Sling, resource supertype for brand variations. The headless side used Next.js with React, TypeScript, and Tailwind, consuming AEM's GraphQL through the official at Adobe slash AEM headless client.js SDK. For storage, AEM uses the JCR, Java Component Registry, specifically Apache Jackrabbit Oak, as its content repository, not a traditional relational database. Binary assets in DAM were stored in an external data store backed by Azure Blob Storage. To keep the JCR clean, infrastructure was Azure throughout, Blob Storage for assets, Azure Front Door as the CDN edge, Application Gateway for load balancing. CI/CD ran through Adobe Cloud Manager for AEM as a cloud service environments, and Jenkins for AEM 6.5 with SonarQube and the best practices analyzer as quality gates, observability through Grafana, Prometheus, OpenTelemetry, and Azure Log Data Analytics. If we are talking about AWS, then the binaries were offloaded to S3 through the data store API to keep the JCR lean. Infrastructure was AWS, EC2 and EKS for compute, S3 for the data store, CloudFront as the CDN edge, application load balancer in front of the dispatcher tier, Route 53 for DNS, and CloudWatch and X-Ray for observability. CI/CD ran through Adobe Cloud Manager for AEM as a cloud service, and Jenkins on EC2 for AEM 6.5 with SonarQube and best practices analyzer as quality gates. And for the recommendations on the migration, I'm also AZ900 certified, so I'm comfortable with the equivalent Azure stack, which is blob storage instead of S3, front door and app gateway instead of CloudFront, and Route 53 monitor, and the concepts map cleanly between clouds.